Good morning. We are in UK. We are in Kemble Airport, EGBP, and we're just going to do some sightseeing today. It's what I've done for the last, this will be my third stream, and what I'm most importantly doing is testing using my HP Reverb G2 with my valve index controllers. So to do that, I'm using a program called Open Space Calibrator, and basically what it does is you take your G2 controllers and put it in your you put on your valve index controllers, and then take the G2 controller, put it in your hand, and you go through a calibration procedure. And when you're all done, if it works, basically the valve index controller and the G2 controller are in the same place. So, I mean, you can see them, they're right together when they're all done. And so that allows me to use my valve index controllers, which I find as far as VR controllers go, I've had a Vive Pro, I've had a Valve Index, and I've had a HP Reverb G2. The Valve Index controllers, in my opinion, are the best controllers for VR, especially for flight simulation. For example, I can take, and right now I have my Valve Index controllers, they're on my hand. And my hand is on the yoke, so I can, with just my fingers, you can see, I have this yoke turned off. You can see I can pull the yoke all the way back. That yoke's up back up into my belly. So I can do this, and the controller is there. The controller never interfered with the yoke in any way, shape, or form. It works just great. In X-Plane, it also allows me to basically touch every button, the trim wheel, the throttles, mixture, flaps, fill valve cutoff. I could do all that with a controller. So in my flight setup, I have a set of rudder pedals, hardware rudder pedals, MFG crosswinds. I have a Fulcrum 1 yoke. That's all the hardware I have, besides my VR headset. Everything else in X-Plane I can do with a VR controller. In Microsoft Flight Simulator, I don't have that opportunity currently. So what I've done in the interim is I have a program called Voice Attack. So basically, I'm using my voice to basically emulate lack of VR controller support. So I get pretty much the same functionality out of Microsoft Flight Simulator as I do in X-Plane, but it's not as intuitive. In other words, if I want to if I've had my flaps down to come in for a landing, if I want to get my flaps back up in X-Plane, I'll just go over there, reach my flaps, just flip my controller up, and the flaps will go from all the way down to all the way up, and I'll get it up there probably 2 or 3 seconds faster than what it'll take for the flaps to actually move. In Microsoft Flight Simulator, I have to go flaps up, flaps up, flaps up to get them to come up. And so it's quite a bit different. And so what else do we have in the cockpit with us? So, of course, I have the VFR map is with me. And I also have a program called eBag. eBag's like an electronic bag. Kind of like a tablet, but I use Avatab in X-Plane. It is really like function rich. So I can have like PDFs, I can have text files, I can have moving maps, I can have all kinds of things. eBag, on the other hand, it's a little limited right now, but it's brand new. It's brand new. I think it's been out for I don't think it's been out a month. It might have been, but I haven't been aware of it for more than a month. And but what I use it for is I basically have information that I want during the flight. In other words, I have the information about the airport that I'm at. I have information about where I'm going. So the sightseeing places that I'm going to, I have those. So that and besides where I'm going to, what direction do I have to go to get there? So in other words, the first place sightseeing place is Oxford. So I have to be on a flight path of 82 degrees, and it's 30 nautical miles away. So it kind of gives me like a rough idea of the direction and how long it should really take me to get there. So so for the Microsoft Flight Simulator stuff, those are the two things that I have in here. The other thing I have is I'm using a program called and the way I get my Valve Index controllers and also how I get my other windows into the cockpit is I'm using the HP Reverb G2 with Steam VR. So there's a program called Windows Mixed Reality for Steam VR. That allows a Windows Mixed Reality headset to interact with Steam VR. Before the last update, I tried this and it was a failure. The stutters were just tremendous. There was no way I would not have streamed that. After the last update, something changed. What I don't know is, was it an update of Windows? Was it an update of Steam? Was it an update of Microsoft Flight Simulator? I cannot pinpoint that. What I do know is, after the last update of Microsoft Flight Simulator, things were different. It allowed me to actually do this, which I do and explain all the time. It's a non-issue there. So basically the program I use is called OVR Toolkit, and basically it allows me to bring Windows from my desktop into my VR space. So I run a program called Chatty for interaction with chat. I use voice attack. So the voice attack window is it's also in the VR cockpit. So what the advantage of that is if I say something and voice attack is kind of going like, what did you say? Because nothing happened. I can look and I can see how it was recognized. So it's helping me improve my enunciations of words and commands to make sure that when I say the phrase, it's understood on the first shot, not that I have to repeat myself. So that's kind of my goal. More than likely, sometime in the future, I won't need it in the cockpit. So the other thing I have is I have basically my whole desktop is in here. So that's kind of, it's in here, but it's kind of shoved out of the way. And then I have a CPU ID monitor. And so what that does is allows me to bring my basically how hard my CPU's running, what the temperatures are. I can look at all that stuff also in the VR cockpit. So and that's the same thing that probably after some period of time I won't really need that in there, but I wanted it in here to begin with so I can look at the VODs after and see how, when I look at the VOD and I look at what it looks like, can I make any correlation as to how hard the computer was working as opposed to what I'm actually seeing. So in other words, stutters, that kind of stuff. The other thing I have with me is called FPS VR. it lets me know like how well VR is doing is probably the right term. And you can see like over on the CPU side, CPU is happy. It is really happy. I'm down under 20 milliseconds, so it's in amber, but it's not in red. Over on the other hand, the GPU is working. You know, it's like 92%, 92. So she's a bit working, but it's not all red. So it's ambers and reds. So, but the frames on the GPU, yeah, they're above 30, 35, something like that. So let me go a couple of other places, and I'm just trying to document. I can't find my touch controller. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. So I'm just trying to like document what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. So I'm gonna try to get to there we go. So video settings. So and I'm gonna close this one and go to general. So what I've done is on the general setting here, whether I'm in X-Plane or Microsoft Flight Simulator, I have this set at the same place. So it's way too high. I mean, it's way above what the resolution of my headset is. But I just leave it set there. But what I do is video per application. So what I've done is I've taken this scaler and I've moved it down to like 50%. So that's a little bit above what my the native resolution of my headset. My headset's 2160 by 2160. So I'm a little bit above that. But I've changed this. Motion smoothing, I have that disabled. Legacy reprojection mode is off. And those are the only settings here. So we go back to the game. So I'm going to so I'll go over to my rendering settings in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Escape. If I don't stop and pause before I give a voice attack command, it will not it won't recognize the command. So we're going to click on general. So currently my my rendering is so I'm set at like 70% here in game. So I have TAA. My level of terrain detail is 100. These are all medium. Object level of detail 100. I have the clouds cranked up a little bit. Not a lot, but that's on high. Texture resolution on high. Isotropic filtering is on 16. Texture super sampling 6x6. I heard if you turn this up a little bit, I had it pretty low, 2x2 I think. That the runways and the that kind of stuff's a little easier to see. So I'm trying that. Medium, 768 shadow maps, terrain shadows. Contact shadows are off, medium. I think the rest of this on the bottom is off. Cockpit refresh rate is on medium. So that's pretty much that. Go back. Resume. Alrighty, so we'll kind of see what we can do here. I'm trying to think if I can get turned around here. I'm going to try to get a pushback and before I turn the plane on. Pushback. Start pushback. Pushback.
Requesting pushback from ground services.
So I'm just going to get pushed back because I think it's kind of crazy that they'll push you back when the engine is started. So I'm going to get pushed back a little bit. It will it'll give me a little more clearance to get the plane started and turned around here. And you kind of wonder, like, where is he going? Got no idea. That's just, this is always kind of so weird. So I'm just gonna let him push back the plane a little bit. We'll see how far he goes. If he doesn't stop pretty soon here, I'll stop him. But I'm doing this all with voice command, so stop, pushback. So that's more than enough room to get me started and get the plane spun around here. Okay, dokie. Fuel valve. Fuel valve. Beacon lights. Master battery.
Setting master battery.
Magneto start. Taxi light. Master alternator.
Adjusting alternator.
Avionics on. Yeah, we'll let the plane warm up a little bit here. ATC. ATC. Let's shove him up out of the way a little bit. Set one. So it looks like I'm going to be departing. Let me look at this a minute. Like I'm going to be departing to the east. So that's to the right. The map north is to the top. So I'm going to be departing to the east. So I will say I guess just set one. Set one.
Echo Golf Bravo Papa traffic Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf is taxiing to runway 8.
So it'll kind of help me out. Alrighty, let's see what we can do. Parking brake.
Adjusting parking brake.
Let's see if I can find a runway. There we go. Okay. I'm flying at so many airports that I've never been to before. I landed at this airport a few days back, but because of that, I leave these taxiway ribbons on just to help me. If I remember right, when I come in here, this is it seemed like a pretty big airport, but I've landed at a lot, so it's kind of hard to tell. It looks like we're not too far away from the runway here. Yeah, runway's right here. That's a hold short line. So, stop before you go by
Echo
it.
Golf Bravo Papa traffic Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf taking off runway 8 east departure.
Something seems a little odd to me, but I'm kind of like in the middle of a runway. So let me see here. All right, so this is the right way. So this is runway 8. Everything looking okay. So give her full power. Not a really long runway, but not too bad. Okay. Up we go. So it looks like I'm like right on course. So if I follow this heading, it should take me to Oxford. And I'm not going to be landing again for, probably about an hour. So we're just climbing out at a pretty, 85 knots, something like that. So I'm a little bit shallower than I should be, but it's okay. I get up to around...
Frey's Norton approach Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf is type Cessna Skyhawk 2 miles east of Echo Golf Bravo Papa. Request flight following. Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf Frey's Norton approach. Squawk 6306. Squawk 6306 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
See my co-pilot.
6 Bravo Golf radar contact 2 miles east of Echo Golf Bravo Papa 1,400 feet. Altimeter 30.53.
I see my co-pilot that's right on it this
Cessna
morning.
6 Bravo Golf.
So we're about 28 miles away. Yeah. We're supposed to be on a heading of 82. So the airport runway heading was 80, so we're right on. I'm going to pull the power back now. I got back to about 2200. Try to level off here. Trim it for whatever I need. Just get you a better sight picture here. When you're climbing, the nose of the plane is kind of up, so it's a little hard to see in front of you. So once you get to about where you think you want to be, then you just pull the power back, trim the plane for level flight, and it improves your sight picture. I can actually go up in the seat a little bit. I forgot. Landing light, nav light, taxi light. Forgot to do that before I took off. Bad Bill. Bunch of wetlands here. Interesting. Yep, still got too much power. I meant to adjust the sensitivity of my yoke. My pedals seem fine, but my yoke is, should I put that? It's too sensitive. So in other words, when I make the slightest, I mean the slightest of movements of my yoke, the yoke in the airplane moves. And I want to kind of dampen that a little bit. I want to have a little bit of free play in my yoke and right in the middle, where when I move it, it doesn't immediately affect the airplane. But I forgot to do that, so sooner or later I'll have to remember to do it. Okay. Pretty. Like a bunch of farmland. You know, from living in the States, I mean, we always think that the, let me rephrase that. I always thought that because I live in the States, and we have so much land, that a lot of things are like really, really, really spread out. So that when I come to Europe for the first time, what probably surprised me is how much open land, farmland, but how much there was. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, a lot. And I guess I always thought it was like this village, you know, everywhere. That was so wrong. It was so wrong. And so it is kind of cool to be able to experience a lot of Europe, more than I could ever do in real life, doing real life travel. Did I get to experience this? And because there's just a lot. That's all farmland. I don't know what else to call it. I mean, you see a town over there, got all grouped together, one over here, but all around it is not. And it isn't like there's trees, so it's cleared land. So it is farmable land, no doubt about it. So it is interesting. But it's part of the enjoyment of traveling, and also using this simulator that kind of really puts on full display, you know, just the beauty and the diversity of this world. And she's my sim's behaving pretty good today. Every once in a while I'll get kind of a nasty stutter, but it's not constant. It's not constant stutter. It's just every once in a while. So I can like look out the window. There was a stutter. But that all is smooth. If there's any stutters, they're micro stutters. But it certainly wants me, it's certainly driving home the point. I want so badly to put my hands on a 3090. I'm running i7 9700K. We're running at, let me look, 4.6 megahertz. So my CPU, I think, is fine. When I look at this, it tells me my CPU is fine. What it's telling me is my GPU is working. So my GPU is a 2080 Ti. So it isn't like it's a slouch, but it ain't a 3090 either. And I made up my mind when I heard about the 30,000 series coming out. I would not buy a new GPU if it had the same amount of RAM, or in this case even less. I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't spend the money, because it was the same thing with I also have a 1080 Ti. So 1080 Ti, 11 gigs of RAM. The 2080 Ti comes out, 11 gigs of RAM. It's like, seriously? Why wouldn't you not increase the RAM? So now a 3080 comes out, and not a Ti, just a 3080. But what do we have for that? 8 gigs? 8 gigs of RAM in it? So it's even less than my 2080. It's like, there's no way I would like buy that. Now 3090 on the other hand, it's got 24 gigs of RAM on it. I'd absolutely buy that. It's not cheap, but I would certainly buy it, because from what I'm seeing, the increased VRAM would be at least for what I'm doing, it would be helpful. So, so since they've come out, I've been on the search and have been unsuccessful. It's just seriously disappointing that you come out with a brand new series and you can't figure out how to make enough of them, because there evidently is a lot more people like me that are willing to spend $14, $15, $2,000 for a video card than I guess I could have ever imagined. But evidently there is. There's a lot of people got to be buying them, or the amount of stock is so small that there isn't a lot to buy. I have not heard clear I have not heard clear information on which one it is, and I wouldn't even guess one way or the other. So far with the equipment I have, I've been, I guess I would call myself happy. I get better performance in X-Plane, but they've been working on VR for 3 years now, so over 3 years now, so. There's quite a difference. Oops. Yeah, so I'm backhand flying the airplane, so both the direction of flight and the elevation, I'm in control. I don't have autopilot on, and my elevation goals are plus or minus 100 feet. So if whatever elevation I pick, so I basically picked 2,000 feet. I should be at heading east. I should be at 1,500 or 3,500. I should be an odd plus 500, but chose not to do that. But so what that means is that I should be between 2,100 and 1,900, and so I try my darndest to actually keep that. It just it's just something I find important. I am a former student pilot. I have about 108 hours in a Cessna 172, and it's generally why I fly them. They're what I used to fly, and I kind of like the airplane. I'm comfortable in it. I know what it should and shouldn't do from real-world experience. So it also allows me to judge, like, how well the plane is simulated. If I jump into too many planes I've never flown before, I wouldn't have that real-world grounding, to let me know whether the plane is actually doing what it should or not. So, but that's just the way I'm choosing to approach flight simulation. And the other thing the other thing on my stream is trying to accomplish is showing off what is possible, what tools are available, because being a VR streamer, a VR flight sim streamer, what I find important is not necessarily what's important, and a GA one, absolutely GA. Bunch of water stuff over here too. So what is important to me may not be important to somebody else, but it's what's important to me. And my stream partly is for me to, I used to develop a lot on X-Plane.
6 Bravo Golf contact Oxford approach on 125.09er. 125.09er Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
I used to,
Oxford approach Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf 2,000 feet. Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf Oxford approach continue as planned. Altimeter tree 0.5 tree.
I used to develop a lot on X-Plane, and it was getting to a point where I was hardly doing any flying, and what I was doing was developing, and it just got to be kind of a job. And so, and I already had a full-time job. I'm retired from Welch's. I was a plant electrician there. I was there for 49 years. I was there forever. And so once I retired, I kind of grew a little tired of that not being retired. So I just says, no, I'm going to start streaming, and I'm going to enjoy flying again. I can't fly in real life, but I can fly in a sim, and in VR, I'm quite close as to what I remember real life as. So so that's kind of what I do. Is I do VR streams that allow me to enjoy flight simulation again, and it's important. It's a lot more fun. Alrighty. Yeah, let's get down a little bit. Let's have a little closer look. So after here, there's a palace. I need to be on a heading of 325. So that'll be off to my left. But we'll get a little closer look here. That's pretty cool. It is amazing how well they've done the scenery. I mean, it's just incredible. I ended up buying Warwick's for X-Plane for the UK. I bought all of it. I bought oh, there's 3 of them, and I bought all 3 of them. So I am going to find it rather interesting to see how that stacks up. Because one thing I will say, the cockpits in X-Plane I find are much better. They're more, the gauges are more readable. At least that's what I've found. So I take it this is the town of Oxford. I don't know if I don't think I've ever been here. So I've been to England, but I don't think I've been here. Alrighty. Or that is maybe Oxford University. That looks like more what it is. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. My niece. Yeah, let's do an orbit here. I'm trying to give me some more power in. My niece was going to go here. Now that I remember. Oh, that's kind of cool. Is that a crane? That can't be. Yes, it is. That's nuts. There's a crane down there. A building crane. That's just crazy. That is actually modeled. That is beyond crazy. So I'm trying to do a pretty tight turn here. Trying not to stall the airplane. That would be bad. Just trying to pull it right on around here so I can get a better view of Oxford. So it's right there. Okay. Yep, we're doing pretty good actually. Cool. Yeah, that is awesome. Yeah, I just remembered that. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. Something fell through. There was something wrong with it, with what was going on. I don't know what, but there was something going on, and she ended up not going. So, but that is cool. Where am I at? Okay. Alrighty, that's pretty neat. Yeah. Wow. Oh my goodness. Wow. EGBP. Okay, that is cool. That is cool. Okay, so there's a palace over here. Oh. Sightseeing step 1 done. But yeah, there are like building cranes there. I just cannot get over that you actually modeled that. That is where we need to be here. 325. Okay. Yeah, pretty close. That is just nuts. That is just nuts. Oh my goodness. Alrighty. I'm kind of a little low, but we'll let's make sure I got enough power in here that I don't descend. Looks like I gotta go up a little bit. It looks like the elevation's raising a little bit here, so we'll feed in a little more power. I'll get her back to 2200 again. That should let me climb up a bit. I would have never dreamed that. That is crazy. Yeah, no mountains here, but some rolling hills. So this is a palace. So I should be able to level up here. Just let the airspeed build up a little bit until I get closer. Not too far away, but got sandy right there. Huh. A little different. Kind of like a beach in the middle of nowhere. These point of interest plates are showing up better than my last stream. My last stream, I had to be like less than 5 miles away before they would show up. Kind of weird. Not sure what controls that. It did make some changes in my settings, so whether that's relevant or not, I don't know. Just a lot of cool places to see. Wow. Now that's pretty neat. Wowie cowie. So we'll try to orbit around here. Oops. Needs more power, Bill. You can kind of tell when I don't have enough power in this here to share the airspeed and prop kind of slowing down. Not doing too bad though. About 70 knots, I'm good. So I can come right along here just like this. So I'll just be on one side of it. Yep, I would call that a palace, all right. Wow. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. I gotta do one more pass around it. Be then a little more power here. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Like a church right there. Church with a clock tower on it. Whoop, don't get too slow, Bill. That's why when you get too low, you're if you need to go down and get some airspeed, you'll run out of room to do that. This would be a pretty good approach. A little different than what I have done before. Try and slow her down. Slow her down. Cool. Speed and power. Do a turn. No need to climb that much. Three, 4, 6. I'm thinking in front of me. Yep. That's about the right heading. There's a little graphical glitch right there. Unless that actually is a waterfall. It could be, I suppose. If that ain't supposed to be a waterfall there, that's a glitch. So, where are we going next? Okay, Sterling Gliding Club. What a pretty day. Yeah, and I'm running live weather. I normally try to run live weather if if when I go to start up the stream, I kind of go like, this is not going to work, then I will, I'll normally go to like few clouds. I never fly clear weather, just clear sky. If that's what I'm given in live weather, that's what I get. But my fallback is few clouds. I want clouds. I don't want no clouds. I just don't like flying with completely clear sky. And today's pretty close, but it's live weather, so it's what it is. For the last few days here in the UK, it's been overcast many days. So at least when I've been trying to fly. So if it's a gliding club, they must do sailplanes here. I don't see any, it's kind of interesting because it's flat. Where a lot of times you may have a gliding club that's close to mountains where you'll have ridges and stuff. You can use the ridge to give you a lift, but I don't see any ridges here. So, but it doesn't mean you can't, from all this open land, it doesn't mean that won't work too. I mean, so, but it won't happen early in the morning. It would have to be like later on in the afternoon, late morning, afternoon, where the sun would beat down enough on the land that the heat would be rising up off the ground for that to work. But that would work also. Something I've never done. I've been in a single engine airplane for many hours, and but in a glider, never. It does look like a cool experience, but very unforgiving. If you're too far away from the airport and you run out of lift, you're probably going to park that thing someplace where so that's another airport there. There's airports everywhere here. Way more airports here than where I've seen in my previous planes. That's cool. Yeah, this is a single runway. Yeah. Pretty cool. Don't see any X's on it, so guess it's okay to land there. Huh. My goal today is not to go exploring too much, but there's another one. Wow. But some of these, like where it says airstrip, it could be a grass strip, you know. That one back there, that was paved, so you could, it was obvious. Yeah, so out here it's a little, there's more woods out here. Still a lot of open land, but woods kind of interspersed. Pretty neat. We'll go do an orbit around this airstrip here. Kind of curious. My destination's right in front of me there, so I just wanted to see if it was a grass strip or if it's paved. I don't see anything paved. We'll pull power back, try to get a little lower here. Try to get a better view. That may be an airstrip, but it's not obvious whatsoever. Wow. Huh. Really? I'm trying to find a place I would actually land at that there. And so far, I'm coming up with nothing. Nothing. I'm trying to see like hangars or anything like that. I don't see nothing. Nope, just don't see it. Nope, don't see it. Doesn't mean it ain't an airstrip, just means I can't find a place I would want to put a plane down at. It was descending like a little bit too much there. It's kind of like, man, I put some fuel in this thing, or some power into this. I'm like, what's going on? Somebody above us said, what's he in? Must be an Airbus 320. 39,000 feet, I kind of hope it is. Got to be some kind of airliner. Somebody else cruising around there in a TBM. 200 feet above the ground. Hopefully it won't get in their way. There's another airfield over there. This is where I picked as a waypoint. So where are we going next? Okay, about the same heading. Oh, right there. That's where we're going. About 14 miles away. Cool.
Fuel truck requested.
What? No, I didn't ask for a fuel truck. And for some reason, my position in my seat went back. Move forward. Move forward. Move forward. Move forward. Yeah, for some reason, my seat moved forward like quite a bit. I was like, what? But at the same time, it says fuel truck requested. Trying to see. Yep, that looks like a paved runway there. Actually, it looks like two of them. There's one there. I don't see any markings on them. There's one going the other direction. There's one going this way, and then there's one over there. Huh. Yeah, different for a lot of times the glider ones are just grass, so. Alrighty. So according to my VFR map, I am on course, so that's a good thing. Looks like I got 2 more stops, and then I'm coming in for a landing. And I'm certainly low enough on fuel that I need a fuel truck. That was crazy. Yeah.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, contact London Center on 118.475. 118.475 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. London Center, Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf, 1,800 feet. Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf, London Center, continue as planned. Altimeter 30.55. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, contact Birmingham approach on 123.98. 123.98 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. Birmingham approach Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf, 1,900 feet. Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf, Birmingham approach, continue as planned. Altimeter 30.55.
I didn't really realize I was that close to London. Oh well. When it said London Center, I went. I'm really not sure where I am in the UK, but I didn't think London was that close. But then again, I remember when I was setting up this flight, Heathrow was off to the right, so it's not that unexpected. So. Alrighty, let's do I'll pull the power back a little bit here, and I'm just going to do a gradual descent. It's a castle. Be good to get a little closer to it. 2,000 feet above a castle is probably not a good way to view it. It's like a racetrack down there. I don't know what kind, but that certainly is a racetrack. Yeah, kind of weird. So my next heading is 45. So that's over to my right. So it looks like we got a TBM here too that's looking at the view. Certainly can't pick him out. He's at 424 feet. I wonder what the elevation is. So I'm going to stay at 1,000. It kind of looks like he's moving away from me is what it looks like, but I cannot see the aircraft. And it may be far enough away that I can see the name tag, but not necessarily the aircraft. I don't see anybody close here. I get a little lower. Pretty cool. Yeah, that is really cool. Wow. Wow, that's pretty neat. So is that. There's that stuff everywhere. Wow. Okay, pick up a little power here, Bill. Get spun around here. Okay, and need to be at 45. So that's 60. I can come right by it. And then go to 145. 45 heading. It's 2 miles away. Huh. I think I would see it. I get the heading wrong? 45. Two miles isn't very far away. Whoops. Yeah, it's supposed to be, it's called Via Park. It's only 2 nautical miles away from the castle, so it's kind of... So we'll just do a rotate back around here. 'Cause I'm already 2 miles away. And I can already see the final airport, so... I'd like to find everything I put on my, on the map, but... It's only 2 miles away, so it can't be... It's hard to believe I wouldn't see the banner of it. No. I see nothing. No, I don't see it. No. Oh well. Yeah. What is go land? That a little disappointed. Not bad though. Excuse me. So I've got something really messed up here. It says Birmingham, I should be on a 125 heading, and there is no way. There is no way. Set 2. Set 5.
Birmingham Tower, Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf is 10 miles southeast with India to land. Cessna November 256 Bravo Golf Birmingham Tower. Fly left downwind runway 15. Altimeter tree 0.55, wind 086 at 15. Make left downwind runway 15 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
There's 15. Okay. So elevation is 300 feet. So I should be at 1,300 feet about now, or higher. So we're gonna climb up a little bit. Okay, we're good. Just trying to find our airport. I got a helper in front of me here, but there she is. So I put my heading bug in the bottom of the my directional heading indicator here, so that when I am flying a left downwind, that's going to be a 115 of 15. It's going to be in the bottom. So it's just a visual cue to help me get myself aligned with the runway, and to be sure that the runway I'm looking at is the runway that I should be landing on. That's probably the more important part. So just pulling back the power just a little bit, because the elevation here is 303, so plus 1,000 would be 13. So when I enter this pattern, I should be at 1,300 feet. So 3 plus 5. So also when I turn final, I should be at about 800, between 800 and 1,000 feet when I turn final. So right now we look pretty good, maybe a little snug. Maybe a little snug. I'm gonna widen my pattern out a little bit. And then once I'm out far enough where I think I'm okay, then I'll square back up. So I'm just flying at a little bit of an angle with the runway, just trying to get a little more distance between me and the runway. All the time trying not to lose too much altitude, because I should be at 1,300 feet about here. As I get closer to the landing, then of course I have to get rid of altitude. So we're a little bit fast, not a lot, just a little bit fast. And because personally you can put your flaps out at 110. My goal is 80. So what I'm looking for is the end of the runway. So once I see the end of the runway, then I start to pull back some power. Try to hold up on the yoke a little bit. Get rid of some airspeed. Flaps down.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf cleared to land runway 15. Wind 09er tree at 10.
So I have one set of flaps out.
Cleared to land runway 15 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
And I am looking for the airport, for the end of that runway to be at a 45 from me. And then I'll make a turn to base. Looking good. Make a turn. Flaps down. One more notch of flaps. Try not to get too slow here. And bringing the heading bug to so that it's on my left. Straighten up. Looking for the runway. Runway's looking good. I am high. And not by a lot. I'm by a little bit high. Okay, turn in for final. Let's see where I'm looking. Looks like I'm high. A little bit low in airspeed, so I'm letting the yoke, I'm letting the plane fall a little, descend a little bit, not much. I don't want it to increase in airspeed. I am high, flaps down. Final notch of flaps is in, flaps down. I was talking too much and it didn't listen to me. So I'm just feathering power back out of here. The PAPI lights say I'm high. I gotta be at 300 feet. Feed power back in because I think I'm sinking a little bit too much. And it looks like there's a pretty good displaced threshold here. So I actually have to get a boat, I have to go over that. Where all the red lights are, I'm not supposed to land there. But once I'm over there, there's 15, I'm on the right runway. Now we can just let her settle in. About 500 feet per minute coming in here. Doing about 60 knots, a little bit less. Just letting the plane settle. Getting close. Pull back on the yoke a little bit more, more. Oh, perfect. Great landing. Come on.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf exit runway when able.
Flaps up. Flaps up. Great landing. I loved that. That was good. that was a great approach. And in the past, I had not, I'm looking for a helper here. Oh, there it is. In the past, I had been too high, so I had to, go on, stop.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, turn next taxiway.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Come on, turn. I had been too
Cessna
high.
6 Bravo Golf, contact ground on 121.805.
I had been too,
121.805 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
I had been too far above the runway when I was coming in on final. So I had to kind of like dive to the runway. And that's why I made up my mind. I wanted to, when I was in the pattern on the downwind, I looked over to see what the altitude was. 300 feet. Yep. Right on spot. So 300 plus 500. When I turned final, I wanted to be 500 feet above the runway. So that was 800 feet. So when I was coming on final, I was trying to get to 800 feet. So that when I did the final, it was, I didn't have to do any diving. I just did just a really nice 500 foot per minute descent to the runway. And it turned out great. I was exactly what I'm capable of. I've landed a lot of 172s, and I know how it's done. Even here, we've got a flap issue where you tend to float too much, but the fact that I could kind of recognize that I have a displaced threshold. You could tell it by looking at the lights. The red lights say not here, so I just fed in just a little bit more power just to get the plane to get over that. So yeah, let's see where he's taking me here. Over this way. Okay, is that good? Oh, there we go. Whoop. Parking brake.
Adjusting parking brake.
So he seemed happy with me. Alrighty. I know I'm happy. Looking at the windsock here. Yeah, so the wind was not bad. You can just see it wind just kicking up a little bit. And it would have been across the runway. So I noticed that just a little bit, but it's 10 knots. It shouldn't bother too bad. Okay, so I at least, oh, I didn't get them all up. Flaps up. Flaps up. I'm getting better about once I land to get my flaps up, as opposed to waiting until I get over here and they're all the way down. So, alrighty. So I'll go ahead and I'll kill the airplane here. Avionics off. Avionics off. I'll pull a mixture back. Okay, the landing lights. Landing lights. Nav lights. Beacon light. Master battery.
Adjusting master battery.
Master alternator.
Setting alternator.
Magnetos off.
Setting magnetos to off.
Magnetos off.
Setting magnetos to off.
Excuse me. Yeah, I don't know why it does that, but it does. The magneto, when I tell it to go off, it goes from both to left, then back to both. When I tell it the second time, it finally does it correctly. It doesn't make any sense. Alrighty. How long we've been playing? Yeah, 100 minutes. Okay, almost 2 hours. Cool. I probably haven't been playing 2 hours. Probably about an hour and a half or something like that. But it's a lot of fun. And kind of like this time of day where it's kind of you're into the so you land when it's kind of like dusk. And yeah, and I don't know why I couldn't find that other waypoint. I don't know. It just wasn't there. So, and I wasn't really sure as to what it really was. So there was no way I was gonna. I did enough of a search for it, but I couldn't find anything. So, but another flight using the HP Reverb G2 with index controllers, and I'm happy. I am happy. It is not perfect, but I like my index controllers so much that I will pursue this. And the other thing I want to do is to document document what my settings are and stuff, so that if anybody else wants to kind of give this a try, because kind of the opinion of the community is this doesn't work. Trying to use the G2 with Steam VR does not work, and I would say that's not true. So somebody else was saying you can't see other aircraft in VR, but I can certainly see that airplane that just took off from here. I can clearly see him. No big deal at all. Yeah, I can clearly see him. I'm actually going to go out of the cockpit right now and see what I can see. Cockpit. So this is my view kind of out of the cockpit. So I'm in VR, but I'm kind of like sitting about, I don't know, about 20 feet off the ground right behind my my airplane. And so it is kind of cool. You can kind of like look around the airport and kind of see what's going on, you know. There's a plane over there. He's at 18,000, so no way you're going to see him. But pretty cool. Pretty cool. So, yeah, pretty neat. So what are you doing? Oh, you're not too bad. So yeah, most of my chords are around 60. Yeah, most of my chords are around 60, so I have a big water cooler. So 3 fans are on my water cooler. It's the whole front of my case, and it really does work quite well. I've been pretty happy with it, and I plan on this. Whenever the next generation of Intel chips come out, I plan on building a new one. I'm going to use not the same case, but the same type of case, just the next generation. Do the same way. Just put a big old water cooler in the front of it, and that cools down my chip. And I want to be like 11th generation chip, and probably the high end of it as far up as I go. And but I want to make sure I keep it cool, and I like water cools, so all-in-one water cools, not custom stuff. I'm not. To me, it looks like too much maintenance. I've had good luck with them, so we are at Bimingham. So tonight, after I'm done here, and probably after I eat supper, I'll go ahead and make another flight plan as to where I'm going to fly next. But this was fun. And like I said, my goal on the GPU right now, until I can find myself a 3090, is to keep the milliseconds under 30. And most of the time that's true. If it's not, then it gets all red. But with all the yellows in there, yeah, not too bad at all. And not running too hard on the because this is a pretty populated airport. there's lots of buildings here. There's lots of airport stuff here, and so I'm under 10. I'm under 10 gigabytes, and when you hear people, you know, that when their frames like go down, and I've had this. I had that at London City, over London. When your frames go, like say, down under 10, and sometimes even under 5, what that generally means is that you've run out of either VRAM or regular RAM. If you run out of either one, your frames will tank. Because once you're out of RAM, it's going to try to find memory someplace else. And every place else it's looking for is going to be way slower than where if your frames were more reasonable, 20, 30, it's getting its RAM from. But if it goes that low, at least my experience in, wow, a long time doing flight simulation, when your VRAM, when you run out of either VRAM or RAM, either one, your frames tank. I mean, they tank bad. And they tank so bad that if you're on a desktop and you're trying to move your mouse, nah, it ain't gonna work, because it doesn't have enough extra resources to actually put the mouse in the right, to display the mouse or even know where the mouse is. So already I'm gonna go back. I was hoping I could see another plane take off, but doesn't look that way. I'm just looking at all the nameplates and seeing if I see anything coming in close, and I don't see anything. So I'm going to jump back in the cockpit, and I think I'll call it a day on the stream. And been fun. It has been a hoot. Cockpit. And that's what I like. I use the voice for that kind of stuff, like to like move myself around in the cockpit, and to move myself up, down, forward, backward. I can even move left and right, but I find it unnecessary. In the same way as I can just say center view. So it'll actually center myself. So I am right. Basically, I am in the middle of my hardware yoke. That is straight in front of me, and the virtual cockpit is in front of that. So so all of that in voice is just so cool where you can do that, and I don't have to have some buttons on my yoke mapped. I can just do it with voice, and so I'm gonna call it a day. Been fun, but we'll do this again tomorrow. At least that's my goal. I normally start streaming at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and if you want to see more of this content, just click on the follow button so you know when I go live. And I plan on, I'll do another, I'm going to continue to just do sightseeing in the UK. And so when I start at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, that's about, I can't remember if it's 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock UK time. And then I fly for an hour or so, maybe an hour, hour and a half. So when I'm doing my last landing, it's going to be kind of dusk-like. So the lights on the airport will be on, that kind of stuff. But it's not so dark you can't actually see. And because I despise flying at night. I remember in my training, I did do a night. It's mandatory. You have to do a night flight. And man, I just hated it. I was like so disoriented. I went to turn for what I thought was final. I was so disoriented, I was lined up to fly right over the tower. I was so disoriented. And I remember my flight instructor yanking the yoke out of my hands. And then when I finally saw the runway and seen what the lighting looked like, I went, oh, yeah, it's kind of obvious now. But it wasn't obvious when I did it, because there was a lot of lights around the city and that kind of stuff, and it all kind of blended in with the airport lights, and so it made it fairly difficult to discern, but I got through it. So I from that point forward I really seriously despised flying, and we were flying when it was dark. I mean, completely dark, and but I never liked it from that point forward. Alrighty, could have called it a day, and it's been fun. You have a great day, and I know I did. Bye-bye.